The total vote count. Are you getting feedback?
Yeah.
We can hear you fine here.
Need to mute in the room.
Okay. Yep.
Mute in the room, please.
The total vote count, USA Curling individual members is 18,334. Member clubs with individual member counts, 13,492. There were four individual members from member clubs that have opted to vote on their own independently. And there were 26 individual members without a member club that are voting tonight. So that brings us to a total member vote for tonight of 13,518.
Mr. Secretary, will you make a declaration of members in attendance at member meetings by category?
I can. Member clubs with individual member counts, 13,488. Individual members voting independently of their member clubs, 4. Individual members without a member club, 26. So the total member count, as Alexis just said, 13,518. As a result, with the total voting population of 18,334 and the total member vote count of 13,518, we have established a quorum and the meeting can proceed.
Thank you. Can you discuss the Athletes Advisory Council vote?
I can. The athletes are entitled to 1/3 of the total vote at the members' meeting. So the total votes to be cast with the athletes to be included are 20,277. That breaks down to 2/3 for the members and individual members of USA Curling of 13,518. The AAC, the Athletes Advisory Council, has a portion of 6,579, which is 1/3 of the total vote. For those of you who are curious about this, these numbers are mandated by the 10 Stevens Act, which is a federal program to ensure that athletes are represented in all actions by their national governing bodies. So the total AAC vote to recant, 6,579. With that in place, the total voting population for tonight, 20,277 votes. Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the 2023 members meeting. There was a link to the minutes in the agenda that was sent out previously. Is there a motion to approve the minutes for the 2023 members meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
And actually, if you could please, because we have people here in person and online, if you could identify your name and club, if applicable, that would be greatly appreciated. So if the person who made the motion, if you could state the motion again, just with your name and club.
Bill Bruce, Cape Cod Curling Club, so moved.
Thank you, Phil. And the second came from the room.
Matt King,
Thank you, Matt. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
The people online need to raise their hand. Brett.
You can also, in lieu of saying aye, you can also use the emoji for raising your hand, and we will count that as an affirmative vote. And I'll give that just a second.
We're good.
Okay, you can put your hands down. I'm going to give that a second because I'm going to then ask if there are any nay votes. But not yet. Give everyone a chance to put their hands down.
please lower your hands.
I think we're just waiting for one more. Unless, Kat, you had a question. Thank you. Okay. Any nay votes for the approval of the minutes? Raise your hand or say nay. Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Next item is the approving new member clubs. I'm actually going to ask for each club to be nominated individually because I think it's important that we recognize the clubs as we go through. So I'm just going to say, is there a motion to nominate Brookings Curling Club? And then someone will say, again, say your name in the club so that everyone can hear, and then we'll move forward accordingly. We'll probably do all of the votes together at one time for the new member clubs, and then do the approving the returning member clubs again all together at the same time. Is there a motion to approve the new member club Brookings in South Dakota?
This is Harvey Steele from the Missoula Curling Club and the Secretary of DTCA, and I move that we accept the minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Outstanding, thank you. Is there a motion to accept new member club Cloud City CC?
Jonathan from Houston.
Thank you. Is there a second? Wonderful, thank you. Is there a motion to approve Frogtown Curling Club?
Mike Sprague from St. Paul Curling Club.
Mike, thank you. Is there a second?
Frogtown seconds.
Is there a motion to approve the Petoskey Curling Club in the great state of Michigan? Mike, thank you very much. Is there a second? Thank you, Stephanie. Is there a motion to approve the Teton Curling Club in Idaho?
Amanda Smith, Charleston.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Julie Delacote from Australia Curling Association. I will second.
Thank you, Julie. And last but certainly not least, is there a motion to approve the Thunder Bay in Minnesota Curling Club? There's already a Thunder Bay Curling Club in Michigan.
This is Tom Scott with the Curling Club. I'll move for that.
Thank you, Tom. Is there a second? Thank you, Eric. Is there a motion to approve all the member clubs that have been nominated?
MJ Walsh, Collegiate Curling, so moved.
Thank you, MJ. Is there a second?
Anchor Patrick, second.
Anchor Patrick, thank you. All those in favor, say aye, or again, raise your hand, use the raise hand
Quiet.
feature.
People are telling me it's super quiet.
And I'll give that a second. Okay, you can lower your hands, thank you.
We're good.
you just click the button again. There you go.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, all those opposed to approving the new member clubs, raise your hand or say nay. I'm going to count those hands that were up from the last vote is not voting against.
Check with Patrick, please. I can hear this.
Patrick, do you have a question?
No, do I? Oh, my hand's up. Sorry. No, I don't.
Killing us, Patrick.
I'm good.
Thanks, Patrick. Okay, that motion carries. And welcome to the Brookings Cloud City Broadcast 2021 Inaugural Club. Now I'll accept motions to approve returning member clubs, starting with Belfast in Maine. Is there a motion to accept or nominate Belfast in Maine or approve?
Bill Bruce, Cape Cod, so moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, seconded here. Is there a motion to approve the Chaska Curling Club here in Minnesota?
Jonathan Lee from Houston.
Thank you, Jonathan. Is there a second?
I'll second. Fred Fletcher from Eau Claire.
Thank you, Fred. Is there a motion to approve the Colonial Curling Club in Massachusetts?
Jennifer Chernoff, I move.
Thank you, Jennifer. Is there a second?
Patrick says yes.
Thank you, Patrick. Is there a motion to approve the Finger Lakes Club in New York?
MJ Walsh, collegiate curling, so moved.
Thank you, MJ. Is there a second?
Amy Pasatino from Ardsley, second.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the Norfolk Curling Club in Connecticut?
MJ Walsh, collegiate curling, so moved.
Thank you, MJ. Is there a second?
Patrick says yes.
Thank you, Patrick. Is there a motion to approve the Potomac Curling Club in Maryland?
From Bangor, Potomac, so moved.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Julie Haggerty from Curling, both seconds.
Thank you, Julie. Is there a motion to approve Jersey Pinelands in New Jersey?
John Millman, Plainfield, so moved.
Thank you, John. Is there a second?
Erica
Bangor,
Hudson,
Potomac,
Woodland.
Oh, we're gonna let Erica have that one. Thank you, Erica. And is there a motion to approve the South Shore Curling Club in Massachusetts?
John Petchcombe, Long Island, so moved.
Thank you, John. Is there a second?
Michel Jean Palmetto, second.
Thank you so much. Is there a motion to approve all of the returning member clubs as presented?
Sandy Stevens, James Moore, recommend approval.
Thank you very much. We got a second from Bernie here in the room. All those in favor of approving the returning member clubs, say aye or raise your hands in the teams. All right, you can put your hands down. For a second there, opposition to these returning clubs, say nay or raise your hand on the Teams platform. Hearing none, the motion passes. Welcome to all those. The next item on the agenda is the approval of a new recognized regional association. Do I have a motion?
Bernie Wigan.
Hold on.
Certainly. Ann Kirkpatrick, Belfast Curling Club, Belfast, Maine. I move to approve the Grand National Curling Club as a recognized regional association.
Thank you, Ann. Is there a second?
Alan McNeil, Potomac Curling Club, second.
Outstanding. All those in favor of approving the Grand National Curling Club as a recognized regional association, say aye or raise your hand in the Teams platform.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, you can lower your hands. All those opposed to the new recognized regional association, say nay or raise your hand in the Teams platform. Hearing no opposition, I'm very pleased to say the motion. As a result of adding the Grand National Curling Club as a recognized regional association, we have to make some amendments to the bylaws to include them in things like a board position, etc., and have them count towards voting eligibility and tabulation. So the bylaw changes were sent out ahead of the meeting and were linked in the agenda as sent out. Is there a motion to approve the bylaw changes as submitted?
Brian York, Potomac. Move to approve.
Thank you, Brian. Is there a second?
MJ Walsh, Collegiate Curling.
Thank
Second.
you, MJ. All those in favor of approving the amendments to the bylaws, say aye or raise your hand on the Teams platform.
Aye.
Okay, you can lower your hands. Alexis, do you want to lower your hand? Okay. Any opposition to the approval amendments of the bylaws, say nay or raise your hand on the Teams platform. Hearing none, the motion passes. The next item on the agenda is approval of new board members. As I'm one of the candidates, I'm going to recuse myself and turn the meeting over to Vice Chair Colin Huffman.
Hello. Oh, another mic? What are we doing? Okay. So the nomination committee has recommended 3 directors. We have Jeff Annis returning from Minnesota State Curling Association, Brett Jackson also returning from the Great Lakes Curling Association, Midwest Curling Association, and then Jen Chumakov from the GNCC, or Grand National Curling Club. I believe we can approve all these just as a slate. We don't have to go through them all individually. So can I get a motion to approve these 3 as both returning and 1 new director? Do I have a motion? Bernie, you've been getting snuck out. Do I have a second? Beautiful. Okay, so similar to before, all those in favor, please say aye, and everyone on the chat, put your hand up. Aye. Okay, we can all put our hands down now. Give it just another second. Okay. All those opposed, please say no or raise your hand in the chat. Okay, hearing none. The directors from the nomination committee are approved. Welcome Jeff and Brett back, and welcome Jen from the GNCC to the board. Thank you. I have to give it back to you officially.
You have to officially.
Okay, now that Brett has unrecused himself from the rest of the meeting, I'm handing it back off to Brett. Thank you.
All right, the next item on the agenda is the report of the CEO. Dean Gemmell, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, Brett. I'm just going to share my screen here quickly. So thanks to everyone for attending, either online or here in Minnesota. We look forward to a robust members assembly. It's already gotten underway. We have a lot of activities planned this weekend, along with some great curling and mixed doubles pre-trials. So we really hope it can be a great celebration of the curling community, some of the strides we've made in these recent months. And I just want to say, I've said this before and I'll say it again, but I am always humbled by the willingness of so many in our community to devote their time and talents to improve both our sport and this organization. So I appreciate all of you, whether you're here or watching at home. So I'll get to the CEO report here. I'll give you the overview of things I'm going to cover. Highlights, obviously I like to start with those. I'll dip into some lowlights because I like to be transparent. We'll talk a little bit about FY25 forecast, provide some updates, and then we'll get into philosophy and culture and some beliefs about USA Curling, looking forward, and then we have some news related to sponsorship that we're excited to share. Highlights, I made it really long, so I'll try to be quick through it, however. I think the biggest highlight of the last year was, although we approached the new membership model with some trepidation, I think all of us did that. You know, the reality was that it worked out very well. You heard the member count. In addition to that member count, we had over $750,000 in membership revenue, which has actually increased from $711,000 from last year under the old model. So we think we found something here that's working. We appreciate certainly all the member clubs who support us and all the individual members at all levels. So that's been great. We did more education programs last year. We're launching some new ones here as well. That's been exciting. Our men's and women's nationals were in the nation's largest media market in New York City area, and that's in New Jersey. We didn't put it there just because that's where I live. We put it there because we wanted to be in that market, and we think the impact of it was valuable, and I'll talk about that a little later on. Our merchandise revenue stream continued to grow. We're excited to announce that we secured championship venues for 2025 and beyond. So it's great to be here in the summer and know where all the championships are going to be next year. I'm sure that a lot of you are grateful for that as well. And we are actually looking out ahead. We have, for instance, junior nationals through 2028. We're working on more 2026 and 7 for men's and women's. We feel pretty good about a couple of those venues. So we're constantly trying to push forward. Performance-wise, we have more teams in the top 20 in the World Curling Team rankings. And we, even if you look within the top 25, we're doing well. Obviously, we always want to improve our performance, so we'll keep working on that, but we see good progress there. We're positioned for Olympic qualification based on results at World Men's and World Women's. And we look forward to good results again in this upcoming season and securing those spots. And we have really good sites for our Olympic trials. Both the February 2025 trials for mixed doubles will be at the Rock Creek Curling Center in Lafayette, Colorado. If you haven't been there, I urge you to think about making a trip to see that. And we believe we have a great partner in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The Great Sports Authority will be there in November of 2025. We like both the people we're going to work with and the arrangements we have. So, some of the lowlights I'll get into. It's a shorter list, but it's meaningful. Obviously, we had fulfillment issues related to some of our membership benefits this year, so I apologize for those. We are looking at different ways to improve that next year. We'll have some different vendors. I think we've learned a bit from this first year of having membership benefits that require fulfillment. The Sport 80 platform, much improved, but issues do remain. And then I think the worst lowlight, quite honestly, is we will record a net loss in FY24. We had a net positive income of $150,000 last year. We'll record a small net loss in FY24. So that's obviously not something we want to continue, but I want to give some insight into how that happens, and so that people understand. One of the things we did was we inherited, in 2022, we inherited some legacy debt related to both the 2022 Olympic Games and the 2021 Olympic trials that were held under COVID restrictions, some added costs there. We were fairly aggressive in paying off that debt, so we've worked pretty hard to get that down. We see, in November, we see those expenses falling off, which will make a big difference. Our insurance costs were up last year. Some of that was related to having what we think was better coverage. We also think that there were maybe some holes in our previous coverage that we addressed. So our insurance costs were up. We did have higher expenses in New Jersey than we may have had at other venues. But when we look at the overall impact of that, we still think it was worth it. The Toyota sponsorship, we're not alone among NGBs. First of all, they reduced it. They eliminated the $100,000 sponsorship we had. I found that out when I started in 2022. We managed to maintain $30,000 last year, but this year, along with another number of other NGBs, we were dropped as a Toyota NGB, which was certainly discouraging. But that takes some money off the revenue. And then I think the other thing is that last year was just simply not a year when we could afford to not do a bit of investment spending. We wanted to make sure we had great championship experiences for everybody. I think we delivered on that. We did do more on membership benefit side. Obviously, won't continue. We don't anticipate a net loss in FY25. We have a forecast of positive net income. Again, some of that legacy debt falls off in November. And that makes a big difference. And then we are projecting to just maintain our membership revenue levels, but we think we have the kind of momentum that we hope can even increase those. So that's sort of an idea on the financial picture right now. We are still in a strong position, but obviously in my role, I don't want to see net deficits each year, so we will work hard to avoid those, and I think we have some news today that will help with that in FY25. So obviously, you know, these last 2 years for USA Curling has certainly been challenging, right? We have not, it's no secret it was challenging. I think we've weathered it really well, and we're in a good position going forward. A few things just, I want to touch on the culture we're trying to build here. One is, you know, we want to be customer focused, performance focused, and revenue focused, and all those things work together. And I think that anybody who's had any interaction with our staff this year will understand that there's a renewed customer focus. And if that isn't the case, if you have an experience that doesn't measure up to your expectations, please let us know. But I'm really proud of our staff and the way they're working with people, whether it's in membership services, whether it's in merchandise, whether it's our ice crews, whether it's our sport performance people. I do believe that we have instilled a culture of consumer focus. We also want to be performance focused, both financially, as I just outlined, but we want to see results on the sport performance side. And Katie Baker and her team, I think, are establishing a culture that drives that. We made some difficult decisions in this last season going forward as we prepare for 2026, but that's our focus on performance. It's necessary, and I see driven athletes in our programs who are really working hard, and we need to back that up by creating a culture that rewards that. And then the last thing is revenue focus. We can be, you know, we are a nonprofit, but that doesn't mean we can't be revenue focused. More revenue means more opportunities for us to provide more services. I talked about how last year I saw many things we did as an investment spend. I want to continue to do that. We want to continue to do that. The more we can drive revenue through sponsorship, through donations, through products and services that deliver value to people that people are willing to pay for, the more we can do that, the better off the organization will be. So we're going to continue to be revenue focused going forward, and continue to find new revenue streams. And sometimes that can mean, you know, this past year we partnered with Coaching You Up and 4 other NGBs. That was a great opportunity for us to show that we can be a great way to reach the general public with programs. We're looking for more opportunities to do that in the future. So that's really what's driving our culture. If we get into philosophy, one of the things I always talk about is that it's easier for an organization like ours to do less. We're less prone to criticism the less we do. We make fewer mistakes when we do less. So it's easy to say, okay, why are we trying to do so many things? I would prefer for us, and I think everybody on the board believes in this too, and our staff, that the more we do, even if it means we take some criticism and make some mistakes, I'd rather have us doing more than less. We have a thing, I've talked to the board a fair amount of it, where we call it, you know, sometimes we have to build the plane in the air. And sometimes we're doing that. And it can be a little rocky, but I'd rather do that, and we'd rather do that, and push forward and try new things because it's a little harder, but we think it's better for the organization. So sometimes we roll things out, maybe when not every I is dotted and every T is crossed. It's 100% true. We try to get ahead of things as much as we can, but we're going to continue to do that, continue to push forward, try things. Sometimes things don't work great. And we will look at those things that don't work great and look at the things that do work well and try to improve them every year. That goes everything from play-down processes to national championships to the benefits and services we provide. Get into beliefs just quickly here. You know, for years we've, you know, one of the ongoing debates within USA Curling has been, you know, are you supportive of the local efforts, the recreational efforts, and the sport performance side? Can we do both? Should we do both? It's an ongoing question. It's been an ongoing question. I want to say that we need to do both. And because I think both feed each other. I think it's a symbiotic relationship, not a zero-sum game. And when we have the curling community at the local, the rec level, the grassroots level, when they're supportive of our elite players and our elite teams and our national teams at championships, that's better all around. And then vice versa. We need the support of that community. We need the community, curling community, feel vested in that. And when our national and elite athletes do well, that serves us well in the local level too. I often say that, I don't think, to say that elite level performance doesn't matter discounts the fact that, say, I'm pretty sure there were a few kids who jumped in the pool because of Michael Phelps. I'm pretty sure there were a few kids who picked up a golf club because of Tiger Woods. So we need both ends of this, and we need to work together. And if I have one little message for people is like, let's start cheering for our teams, and let's really support their efforts. Because I do know from my work with athletes, they're super supportive of the local level. We have the Athlete Outreach Initiative that sends athletes out into the community to do programs. I get more than a few emails from our top players about what can they do to help at the local level. So let's continue to build on that. I think we made good progress this last year. I really hope we can continue to build that momentum. I think often of U.S. soccer, where if you're a recreational soccer player, you're invested in what the men's and women's teams do. And we can start to feel that and feel like we're part of those teams. So I'll stop there on that, but I feel pretty passionately about it, as you might have noticed. And I do think they work together, and I think it's important that they do. If we look forward, a few things we want to cover. We rolled out this new membership model. We are going to look at adjusting the membership tiers slightly. We see the basic and the youth basic membership remaining the same price. The competitor membership the same. But if we went back and looked at the different tiers we offered, we outperformed dramatically at the basic level. We had projected, I think, 12,000 members. We got well over, I think we had 15,000, 16,000 basic members. So we exceeded projections there. We exceeded projections on competitor memberships, which was, terrific. I think at the last count, we're up to close to 1,500 competitor members. And I think we're delivering good value to those. Where we maybe didn't do as well as we hoped was in that premium membership, which was brand new. Fred Fetzer's here. He was a premium member, one of 40. Thanks, Fred. So we struggled a bit with the premium, and we struggled with the gold membership. So we're going to introduce a couple other tiers in there with different benefits to hopefully, find some things that more people in the curling community will find attractive. So that's ongoing. Our webcasting model, webcasting is expensive, and we're looking at how we both build that model out with more advertising, sponsorship dollars, but we're going to have to review the model, just how many games we can provide for free. We're hoping to come up with some ideas on that everybody in the curling community will embrace. I just will say that webcasting, we love it. I want to make it as widely available as possible. We want to do that, but it's not inexpensive. And this is a problem, not a problem, it's a problem and an opportunity for NGBs all across in the Olympic movement. We all want to see everything on stream, right? I mean, I'd like to see my Monday Night League game streamed all the time. And I think we do at my club now, but there's expense, and we need to figure out how to manage that expense a little better. We're really happy with our partnership with the folks at Curling Stadium, soon to be Sports Stadium. We think they deliver a great product, and it's reasonably priced. So we need to find a way to leverage that into more dollars. We are discussing a one-day membership plan. This is something that would be completely optional for clubs. It's not anything that's going to be required. But if we think about the fact that, think about your own club and how many people step onto the ice for a private event, a Learn to Curl. Once a year, they rent the ice for a family gathering. We're not capturing those numbers. And we think there's a way to work with clubs to both produce revenue for clubs and us, and also track the participation, which will really help when we talk about sponsorship. Most NGBs, they count you know, skiing, I think, counts. If anybody buys a lift ticket, they count them as a member of USA Skiing. And we would like to do a better job of that and have better data to back it up. You know, maybe I'm overly optimistic, but I think, you know, about 100,000 people a year step on curling ice somewhere. So we need to have some numbers that more accurately reflect that in the broader community. So we're exploring how to do that, how to make it something that clubs will want to do. They'll look at it as value. There's probably an insurance element to that that will be that will add value. So we're going to dig into that and hopefully propose something like that. Again, I don't want people to think that this is something we're going to impose on clubs. It'll be something that'll be optional that clubs will see value in. And then we're continuing our efforts to expand the participation in our sport in underrepresented communities. We have a new DEI advisory committee or advisory group on BIPOC issues, but we're also working with the University of Minnesota. They have a PhD program focused on expanding participation in sport among all communities. So we're partnering with them. The idea is that they'll put together, they have PhD students working on a program, they'll present it, the winners will start to implement that program. So, you know, I think it's a great idea, and quite frankly, it's a real challenge, right? And we're pretty good at figuring out how to run curling championships and, you know, provide curling education. It's a tough issue, and I think having some outside help is going to make a big difference, so we're excited about that. Obviously, it's with the University of Minnesota originally. The idea is that we can create something that then we can then expand around the country. So hopefully have some success there. Oh shoot, I hope nobody saw that. So I want to get to a sponsorship update. There's a guy in the back here, Peter Draculius, he's in the back. I'll point him out, he doesn't want people to look at him, but Peter, I shudder to say that I worked with Peter when we were young, but definitely when we were younger in the world of advertising in New York, and Peter's come on he's helped us with sponsorship outreach. One of the things we're finding, and this is true across all sponsorship efforts, brands are not so much interested in putting their name on an event. What they really are focused on is how can they activate a sponsorship, right? How can they get the 20,000 curlers who belong to USA Curling excited about a sponsorship? And we think that working with member clubs, it will provide a real benefit to both the member clubs and us. And that's really been where we found success when talking to sponsors and finding interest. And we think we have a great story to tell here. You know, our sport is the community is incredibly committed. We know how committed that are. We are showing every day with Columbia just how much our participants will embrace a sponsor. And that's a story we're going to continue to tell, one of emotional relevance for our participants to brands. So we're never going to have the numbers of, you know, MLB or even some of the smaller sports, right? But what we do have is relevance, and what we do have is all of you, quite frankly. We have all of you who are passionate about your sport and willing to support the people who do support it, the brands. So that's been a real focus of the outreach. I think we've actually refined a sponsorship deck that we tweak for different sponsors and meetings. And that works really well. We'll continue to work on that. I want to thank Peter and Jennifer Chesky and here, our marketing directors, put a lot of work into that as well. It's not easy work, I will say. You get used to a lot of no's and a lot of rejection. And I'm not good at that, but I'm learning. So, but we've done a lot of it, and we're going to continue to do it. And I think what I want to announce now is that we just added a really significant sponsor on it, a significant amount of money. It's a 3-year deal. I said when I started I was going to get a beer sponsor or die trying, and we do have one now. So I want to announce that Dale's is the official beer of USA Curling. So,
Bernie, can you turn the camera so we can show this?
So just so people know, Dale's is the fifth largest craft brewer in the country. They're based in Colorado. They're actually owned now by Monster Energy. So you can have a beer and then a Monster Energy. I don't know how it'll work, but yeah, it's part of Monster Brewing now. And a few things on this. Our contact, the person we connected with initially, his name's Ken Hare. I think a lot of the curlers in here will be happy to know his roots are in Scotland. He came to the U.S. in '94, '95 to work for Miller Coors, and now is at Dale's. So exciting to work with this guy, and he's going to be here tomorrow. But he really got curling. He got the social nature of it. He gets the cohesiveness of the community, and worked with us. He navigated the process through Monster, which is certainly, they have their own corporate process. He was a great ally through that. One of the things we talked a lot about was we said, hey, this is the, I think we're the world's most social sport, and beer is the world's most social beverage. So, it's a great fit. It's also pretty good beer, really good beer, actually. So that's good. And we are going to be working with member clubs to activate this sponsorship. Obviously, I would love it if everybody in this room made Dale's their beer of choice. But I will encourage all of you, if you're member clubs, Dale's is eager to work with you and through us to leverage this and activate it across the country. So that's the news on sponsorship. We're not going to stop here though. We think we have a good story to tell. Got a number of other categories we want to tackle, and we're hoping that we can move this and Columbia and help move the needle with some other brands who see the value of it. But to make sponsorship successful, as I said earlier, we do need all of you, right? So we are, nobody's going to be forced to do anything. Don't worry, I'm not going to go out there and make you buy Dale's or anything like that. But the more we can show to brands that we can really activate a sponsorship for them, the more brands will be interested in working with us. So I will say thanks to all of you for your commitment to our sport and to just the general enthusiasm in the curling community for our sport. It truly is unlike most others. I don't know other sports that have such a cohesive community that really wants to see the best for the game all the time. So thanks to all of you. We will have the Saturday social tomorrow night. There'll be lots of Dales. They actually have Dales here now at the Crooked Pine. Shockingly enough, we got Dales. It's here. We enjoyed Dales afterwards. Like I said, Ken will be here tomorrow, and I'm sure he'll buy a few Dales for us. So thanks to everybody. With that, I'll turn it over to Brett for the chair's report.
Well, thank you, Dean. Originally, he was supposed to go second. I was supposed to go first. And I was like, no, I want to talk about the things that you're going to talk about and thank him. But actually, I don't know how I can follow that. Yeah. So I'll give my chairman's report. And yes, MJ, after this, during the other business, we'll then make the floor open for questions or comments as well, if that's acceptable to everybody. It truly has been my honor and privilege to be the chair of USA Curling over the past 21 months. The organization's changed quite a bit as we've tried to continuously improve every aspect of the organization that we can. From club and individual member benefits, the content platform, our communications, our competitor experience at each of the now 17 national championships that USA Curling provides, from the viewing experience for streaming, the classes and clinics, not just the ones we're having here this weekend, but that we have all year round, and offering merchandise that everyone's proud to walk around in, that I see everywhere. Those are the things that we can see, but there's also a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes, probably a little less sexy, but equally as important to the professionalism and stability of your national governing body. We're modernizing our accounting systems and processes. We're ensuring committees are filled with dedicated and passionate curlers. And we're continuing to improve the IT and user experiences of everyone who comes into contact with USA Curling online. That one's more of an uphill battle, but please know the staff does everything they can on a daily basis to make that better. I especially want to thank Lauren Rich for all of her hard work in improving the member and user experience. And if you ever run into her, please say thank you. As I'm talking about staff, I do want to recognize the good work of our CEO, Dean Gemmel. Dean has exceeded my expectations in every single way. He has boundless enthusiasm, as you can tell. He's always willing to grow and learn in his position. He's always open to have difficult discussions, and is getting more than we thought capable out of the limited resources that USA Curling has. As Dean talked about, when he took over, there were debts and obligations that from the past that he's had to navigate. Soon all of those will be behind us, and Dean will have a clean slate to work from, and I'm excited to see what he's able to do then. While our announcement of our newest sponsor is fantastic, and certainly my congratulations to him and the staff for pulling that off, in truth, he's had hundreds of great large and small moments over the 21 months of his tenure. USA Curling is truly blessed to have Dean as our CEO. So please give him a round of applause. The staff as well is doing exceptional work. When you talk to any of them, run into them, please thank them for what they do. This is a nonprofit association, right? So they're getting nonprofit wages. They're doing more than you think that they're capable of, if you knew all of the stuff that they're doing behind the scenes. So please, they're serving us well, and they deserve our gratitude. Since I came onto the board, the elephant in the room has been the fracture within the USA Curling community. We've worked very hard to win the trust of many back. I'm thrilled to have the GNCC rejoin USA Curling. We're delighted to have Jennifer Shumakoff from Broomstones join the board and represent the GNCC. And it's been great to work with GNCC President Kristen Conrad and the leadership team there. But we know that earning trust is a continuous process that we have to strive for every day. But it's great to know that there has been a healing and that we are once again one curling community. But enough about the past. Let's talk a little bit about the future. This weekend starts our 18th month process towards the 2026 Olympics. Not only are we holding Olympic pre-trials this weekend, but we have instructor, coaching, official, and analytics clinics to help build the volunteer infrastructure of USA Curling and for our member clubs. We all know about the opportunity that's coming at us, so there's no time like the present to take advantage and begin planning at each one of our clubs to grow this once every 4-year surge in the curling population. But outside of the next 18 months, we have another wonderful countdown to look forward to. And that comes with the announcement of the Salt Lake City hosting the 2034 Olympics. It's 10 years. We have 10 years to prepare to welcome the world and thousands of our friends and neighbors into the world of curling, as we will have our sport's greatest showcase in the United States. There will be curling clubs that will be created in the next 10 years that we don't even know they exist yet. There's dedicated facilities that have yet to take shape. And while our athlete pool is strong and getting stronger, maybe the 2034 Olympians are in your club's junior program or haven't even started in the sport. Or maybe you or someone at your club wants to be part of the ice crew or the officiating crew or analytics or volunteers at the 2034 Olympic Games. We can all start planning now to get excited about this incredible chance to host the pinnacle event of our sport. Finally, I want to thank everyone who puts their time and energy into making our sport what it is. From my fellow board members up here, to the staff, to the committee members at USA Curling, the club council participants, for all the regional leadership and boards, and all the club leadership and boards. Whether you have an official title, or you just help teach or learn to curl, or maybe sweep up after a straight, you all make this sport great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I just want to extend my thanks to Brett and this entire board that's up here and elsewhere. You know, I'd be remiss if I didn't add this. They have been great to work with. I think we asked them to meet more regularly than the board ever has, and they do that willingly. And they provide great insight to me and to staff. For some of you, I also just want to touch on some of the things that are happening this week in the coach conference. I know I touched on education, but that's a big one for us. We have our first, if you're in that tomorrow, it's up at the community center. We have new online modules, new programming. Craig Perry's really driven that, our COO, and I appreciate that, and I think that that's going to be a real positive for us. We have some technology things to work through on that, shockingly, but we're really looking forward to that. But again, I want to thank all our staff once more. I truly am fortunate to have such a dedicated staff who I can, you know, who I was joking today, I thought something and it had already been done. So they're really great across the board. So much appreciation to them and also to the board and the Brett.
All right, next item on the agenda is other business. I'll also open the floor up to questions and comments. And MJ, since you brought it up, I'm going to let you go first if you had something to comment or ask a question about.
One comment or suggestion, and that's regarding Sport 80. If it's at all possible, could you get the powers that need to put a field in for college curlers to identify themselves? It would make it much easier for the college curling community to run, the national committee to run reports to see exactly how many college curlers we actually have involved. Ever since we went to individual memberships, that can't be done anymore. The second is a question I was going to ask if the coaching 1 modules were going to be up soon, but I noticed that they are. Is there more than module 1 and 2 before you go on to coach 2, level 2?
So Craig's back there too, but yeah, 1 and 2 are up now. MJ, the rest are being developed. We're going to have them more integrated with Sport 80 going forward. So yeah, 1 and 2 are ready. Those are included with your coach membership. As we go forward, level 2 will be developed out. Some of the things, quite frankly, we're going to do at this coach conference this weekend will inform, you know, how we build out level 2. But more is on the way. We really think, you know, we have we're using a new platform for this education called Slow Coach, and we're pretty excited about some of the features it offers. And so there'll be more on the way. Right now, there's the level 1 modules that come with your coach membership, but that's not the end of it. We wanted to get those up as soon as we could. I think the rest will happen a little more, you know, quickly now that we've got some idea of how to make that happen. And on the college members, Lauren's actually probably out making ice right now, but we can certainly probably do that. And I will give a shout out here too to Nancy Myers and the college committee who we've worked with quite closely with Erin Kaler and our events director this past year. And they've been a pleasure to work with. So yeah, we'll see what we can do on that, MJ. I think it's probably something we can make happen.
You're going to hear the same request from Nancy because I just had lunch with her last week. Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you, MJ. Patrick.
Yeah, I was kind of curious on this whole coaching thing. Is there any kind of curriculum for wheelchair curling coaching? Understanding the disability of said player or anything like that? Is there any wheelchair coaches involved in any kind of coaching versus able-bodied coaches coaching wheelchair players?
Yeah, great question, Patrick. It's level one, and the level one modules are really about coaching philosophy and approach. As we develop these out, we'll get into technical things, and wheelchair, obviously, para training will be part of that. Pete Annis isn't here anymore; he stepped out, but those will be that will be incorporated into it. We're certainly not going to leave the parasite out of this education.
Okay, great. I just, I mean, the instruction part is really good. Level 1, level 2, all that's good. I'm just, kind of curious on the coaching para. That's all.
Sure. Well, thanks, Patrick. Are there any other questions, comments? Jay Clark.
Could you just quickly introduce yourselves?
Okay.
Or what regional organization you represent for those of us who are not familiar?
Yeah, fair enough. Sure. So Jay is asking those at the table to introduce themselves. So we'll start on the one end with Eileen.
Hi, I'm Eileen Gemming. I'm the Athlete Advisory Committee and also a board member as a part of that committee.
Hi, I'm Roger Smith. I represent Dakota Territory, Mid-America, and at-large regions.
Hi, Jeff Dennis, representing Minnesota from the Heather Curling Club.
I'm Brian Coop, in Wisconsin region, representing Lodi, Madison, Gwinnett, I guess.
Me. Colin Huffman. I'm the USOPC AAC rep. So I'm on Curling's AAC, representing curling at the USOPC AAC level. That's why I have a position on this board through that position, and I'm also the vice chair of the board.
I'm Phil Shryock. I curl out of the Granite Curling Club in Seattle, and I represent the Western region, which is Alaska, MOPAC, and the Pacific Northwest.
And I'm Dick Dawson. I'm the board secretary for USA Curling.
Good question, Jay.
Yeah. Probably should have started with that. Sorry.
Note for next year.
Save the best for last.
Anything else? Patrick, I see your hand is still raised. Is that from before?
Yeah, sorry, that was from before.
Okay, no problem. All right.
There's a hand.
Yep. Harmon?
I was curious if you had more thoughts on maybe the cost of that one-day membership or more details on it.
I don't think we have the details just yet, but I'm going to turn it over to Dan.
Yeah, we don't, so Craig Perry and I have been investigating the insurance side of this for one thing, so we don't really have a clear idea of what that would be. So yeah, I can't, yeah, I'll stop there. We're thinking it's somewhere $5, something like that, but we have to see if we can make those numbers work.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Oh, we have one in the room.
So I'm Mark Hartman from Wisconsin, representing the Pointet Curling Club. And I also was a competitor at the National Senior Men's Championship this year. And I want to applaud Dean Gamble for his appearance at that championship and all of the other championships I believe that were hosted. I really appreciate your interest in our competitors.
17 of them. I appreciate that, Mark. I will say that I have the easiest job at any national championship. our ice crew works like crazy, our officials are working like crazy. I just show up. So yeah, but I do think it's important for us to have we always try to have a staff presence at championships, and I think it's important. It's certainly an investment as well, but we want to support the host clubs that take on these events. We're grateful for them, and we want to show our support to them and show the competitors of all our championships. It's actually 18 now. We had junior mixed doubles nationals, so we want to make sure that people in those events know how valuable they are to us. Real quick, we have a mantra we like to use internally where we say, when you walk into any one of our national championships to compete, it shouldn't feel like Thursday league night. And that's not a knock on Thursday league night, because Thursday league night is great. But we want it to feel special. And quite frankly, we still have a ways to go there. And some of that is just resources. But we're going to continue to make those championship experiences memorable and something people want to get back to or participate in regularly.
I also want to challenge my fellow board members to make sure at least one of us is at every one of the national championships, please.
I'll be at men's.
I'll be at seniors.
Sorry. God. Show off.
Shelley Dropkin.
Romestone's Curling Club, I know we St. Paul. I just really want to echo what Mark said. The showing up at these championships matters. It's a message that we didn't have for many, many years. And the fact that you had been there consistently, really from the very beginning, has made a big difference. So thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Repeat that. So if you can't hear the comments in the room, people are expressing gratitude for staff being committed to being at the championships and showing their commitment to the members. Anyone else online, in person? All right, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn the 2024 members meeting. Is there such a motion?
So moved. Everybody walk. Collegiate curling.
Thank you, MJ. Is there a second? All right, Al. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thanks, everybody.